All right, good morning, everybody. Let's see, it's Wednesday today, so tomorrow's our last day of the week for the Wake Up and Resell, which you can join us on Facebook's Wake Up for Resell Revenue. And then our Wake Up and Resell together is at 8 a.m. Central Time every day, Monday through Thursday. So let me see what our calls are today because I keep forgetting that. So today we have this call, and then following this call, Russell is always available for any one-on-one beginner type topics, or really just they throw around some good topics together after this call. So if anybody wants to join in that, it's usually a good conversation in the 24-hour room with that. And then at 11 Central Time, it's Autumn. We're going to really hope third time's the charm for Autumn. She was down for the count last week. Hopefully she's feeling better and can join us this week for the clothing call. So that'll be her first week doing the clothing call. And at 1 p.m. Central Time, we have Cheryl with the bookkeeping and accounting call. So that is this morning. If anybody's interested in leading a call that they have, a different subset specialty that they'd like to teach us about or learn about, we can certainly do that. I think there'd be really interesting to have a YouTube or live selling or whatnot, things of that nature, or a media like CDs, DVDs, books type call. If anybody is interested in that, just shoot me a message, let me know. Make sure that you know that you can go to Patreon and sign up for a free membership. If you have any trouble while you're signing up, just let me know. Just sign up for the free membership. You don't have to sign up for a paid tiers. You just sign in as free, and you'll be able to access everything until January. I have it set up so everything's available. And also make sure you like and subscribe and follow this YouTube channel because this is what we use to help our group membership. So today we are talking to Coach Russell. Russell is also a very intricate part of like behind the scenes for our group. So Russell's my right hand man in the group. So if I need anything or if he sees anything that needs done in the group, he's always the one that's right there helping everybody out and helps me out a lot. So it's not only leads and shows up for everybody for conversation after this call, but he also is there a lot for me and for all of you, if you know it or not, he is. And also he does the shoe call, which he does begrudgingly, I think. So if anybody wants to take over the shoe call, he probably lets you do it. So just a key in if anybody's passionate about shoes, let him know. But Russell's on board for lots of things. He's also really good at helping me brainstorm and find new ideas for the group. And if I need something bounced off of him, I know I can always do it because he will not hesitate to tell me I'm wrong. And I need that in my life. So I appreciate that about Russell. All right, Russell, I'm going to spotlight you and you're going to tell us all about yourself and what your vision is for either the group or your calls or whatever you want.
All right. Well, now that you spotlighted me and I'm on the spot, I've been reselling for about 2.5 years. I've been in sales for 25 years or more, but I just started reselling on the various online platforms a couple of years ago. Um, Married, kids, grandkids, all that happy stuff. I sell primarily denim at the moment. I'm not married to it. It's a bread and butter item for me. Um, not sure what I'm not sure exactly what my business is going to look like in the future, but I have a pretty good idea of where I want to try to take it. And I think that's important for all of us to figure out what our end goal is and then start prepping and planning and moving in that direction. Um, some of my philosophies are basically let's figure out our processes, let's nail them down, and then explode. Uh, it's very easy to get caught up in the rat race of trying to be the best immediately, but even Michael Jordan started by picking a ball up for the first time and learning how to dribble. So we all need to start at the beginning, and that's where I like to focus most of my attention. I don't know. Just I'm better off if you just ask me questions.
You don't want to just go on and have something, fantastic prepared. Um, so Russell's you said you're in denim now. What other niches have you sold in?
I've sold men's clothes, women's clothes. I do a lot of with shoes. Not my favorite thing in the world, but there is good money in the pre-owned shoe game. You have to, deal with the intricacies of the cleaning and the buy costs and just like everything else. But shoes seem to be a little bit more difficult than the other categories I've played with, just because of the cleaning aspect. But
What's your favorite thing to sell? Like, even if it's not good money, what's your favorite thing?
brand new with tags. There's nothing to do. You just take a picture and send it. Um, you know, I really think that pre-owned market is really good. That's where I think the vast majority of us resellers play in. But keep in mind, eBay, 80% of eBay sales are brand new items. So just, you know, I think that's the direction I'm going to start trying to move. Continue doing my denim for the bread and butter stuff and shoes for some profit, and then hopefully at some point get into replenishables and just make a life of that business because that's basically what I've done for 25 years. I've been in the cleaning industry with cleaning chemicals and laundry, kitchen, all that kind of stuff for commercial base. So
Yeah,
I,
asked what you do for your day job all the time. So could you tell us?
yeah, for a day job, I'm an independent contractor for a few different companies, and I repair dish machines, laundry machines, and dispensing equipment for chemicals. I also take care and sell truck washes, but I mean, think of a car wash that the automated car washes you go through, but think of it for semis. I sell those and install and repair and rebuild and maintain those.
So you
Yeah.
fix things? You're a Mr. Fix It?
Yeah, my whole life. Yeah. Went to school
That
for
comes in handy.
mechanics. At the
Nice.
ripe old age of 12 and 13, I was pouring concrete and using jackhammers and running excavators and you know all that stuff with my uncles who are all now retired, thank God, because they'd still try to get me down there doing it. Anyway,
Uh, what's been your biggest sale on denim?
the biggest sale on denim, a pair of silver tab Levi's. I sold them for like 85 bucks. I don't, you know, I'm looking at it for bread and butter, not looking at it for bolo stuff. I make a lot more profit on shoes, but my average denim profit's probably around 14 to $17. After
That's still
cost of
really good. Yeah.
after cost of goods, total net or total in my pocket between 14 and $17 depending on the model.
That's really good. And you source mostly at the bins now, right?
Yes. Without the bends, my model would not work for me just simply because of the buy cost. You get a $2.40 buy cost on average
Hmm.
versus $9 at the thrift shop. So it's a big
You have a
difference.
you have a love-hate relationship with the bins like most people do.
Uh, Depending on which one I go to, yes. Yeah, I went to the one when I was going down to the eBay kickoff party yesterday. I stopped at the Ben's that it's that's in Akron, Ohio, and I have never really had any luck there. But it was also funny because I'd never seen that many people in that Ben's before, and a lot of those people I saw at the kickoff party. So there were people that were coming in from out of town. They probably came early in the day and went to the Ben's. Um, but even with that said, I still grabbed 3 pairs of jeans and a pair of Red Wing boots. So it's not like I loaded up or anything, but it wasn't the greatest trip.
Right? But you were there, so I think we all do that a little bit, try to find what we can when we're out and about. Um, what's been the biggest change in your business, do you think, since the time you started?
Joining this group, or well, the old group and now this group and the other groups,
Hmm.
getting knowledge from the people that know what they're doing, massive change for me. And then, you know, again, getting the advice that I needed and the push to go back to basics and figure it all out and then expand. Um, I think we have all done that, and we're all guilty that a year in, you got 1,000 items in your store, and 2 years in, you still have those same 1,000 items because they were probably not the best items to buy in the first place. That seems to be the MO for most of us. Um, I learned, all about sell-through rates. I learned all this other stuff that we all should teach and share and push. and it's been a game changer.
No, I totally agree with you. And Russell is like me with his reselling and the fact that you're very widget minded. Do you want to elaborate on that at all? Like how you think about that? Because I think some people are in love with the shopping, they're in love with their product, and you never really have that.
No, I don't know if it's mindset or work ethics or what it is for me, but I don't look at, if somebody finds a polo Ralph Lauren ski jacket that's worth thousands of dollars, if I found it, I'd just be like, all right, it's worth a couple $1,000s. I'd sell it, be done, move on. I don't feel like those high dollar, high ticket, really expensive things that, that they don't mean anything to me other than it's a couple dollars in my bank account. I
Mhm.
don't look at it that way. That's why I quit looking for bolo stuff and I started looking at bread and butter. And I think if I started focusing on my bread and butter items, you know, and what I like to try to say is you, I, I first got to make my bill money and then I can make my beer money. And there's far too many of us that are running around watching these videos on YouTube about the bolo stuff and find this and find that and this is worth $1 bazillion and all that when you don't have a consistent income. And if you're serious about reselling, you need to have a consistent income. You know, if you look at all the if you look at all the people that sell on eBay or online marketing or online platforms rather, all of them that are doing really, really, really well have a bread and butter set up and they're just, I'm buying these shirts for $5, I'm selling them for 15, and I'm doing 1,000 of them a day. That's where all the big money is. The big money is not I found these 5 concert shirts and now I don't have anything else to make money for the next 3 weeks. You know, um, and when I finally realized that, then I changed my mindset a little bit, and I feel like I'm in a lot better place now from a business standpoint.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the only thing that doesn't work is low profit margin, low volume. But I agree with you. If we're just bolo chasing all the time, you can get cash poor real quick too if they don't turn over real fast. So
Oh God, I was gonna jump into like brand new shoes because that's a great market, a massive amount of sales and volume. But hey, if you want to list 10 pair a day, which is not, the end all be all for numbers, but 10 pair a day at a $40 buy cost is $400 a day going out of your bank account. And if it takes 3 weeks or a month for eBay to start giving you sales and catching up a little bit to what you're doing, you could be out tens of thousands of dollars jumping into the new shoe game. So
yep.
it's really, really tough to do that in a quick, you know, in a quick pace.
Catherine asks, what was the first thing you sold or what got you hooked on eBay?
Um, my daughter, um, I don't really want to say a whole lot about it, but she had some issues and
In color. Okay. But you didn't sell her on eBay.
oh, but now that you say that, I probably should have.
That
Remember the
wasn't the
returns
first thing you
policy,
sold.
Russell. Remember the returns
Yeah,
policy.
I did, but she got eye natted.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter went down a dark road when my granddaughter passed away, um, and she got hooked on heroin, and she got cleaned up. Everything's good there, but she was in a rut where she just didn't want to move forward in life. So I just one day decided I'm going to take her to the thrifting and see if we can get out of the house and just go do something. And then we started finding good, cool stuff. And then I looked on eBay and I was like, hey, this stuff's worth a little bit. So then I started getting her to go to the stores with me and to do photos. And my plan was to do this and get her going in it to where maybe she would continue on her own. But after about 5 months of it, she was like, yeah, I'm done with this. But she went and got a real job and started moving forward in life. So that was the whole reason I got into this. If it wasn't for that, I would have probably never done it, if I'm being completely honest. Um, you know, but then by then I was making a little bit of money and I was having fun and I was like, hey, I'm just gonna keep doing this. And I did that for another 6 or 8 months until the beginning of the year, last year. And that's when I'd been watching YouTube YouTubers a lot, trying to learn as much as I could. And I pulled the trigger and I joined a group. Uh, I met a bunch of you guys and I got pointed in the right direction. And my sales tripled in 1 year. And now I'm in the second year of being in the groups and my sales are up another 40%. So, things are moving forward at a pretty good pace. And keep in mind that even with this year's 40% jump at the moment, that's still with me doing a ton of testing and a ton of different things that I'm not, now that I've really focused and dialed it in now to where I'm going to do me. And I totally expect to double, a minimum double next year what I did this year. So
And you're kind of moving towards like a plan so that maybe possibly you and your wife could relocate and you can take the business with you, right?
yes, that's the whole purpose. Building a source for your items is really tough when you're doing bins or thrifts or whatever. If you're going to live there for your whole life, it's probably not the end of the world, but my wife retires in a year and we're planning on relocating shortly thereafter. So I'm trying to move into something where I can have the items come to me. And that's when I got into replenishables and started diving into that world. And it just makes common sense. I mean, if you think about it, you know, there's 1.8 billion listings right now on eBay. 80% of those are brand new items.
Mhm.
Like, why are we fighting over the pre-owned 20% of the market? It makes no sense to me. I mean, it makes sense to buy that stuff and to sell it. Your profit margins are probably higher, but the volume is drastically lower. And, and
Carolyn's got her, whoops, sorry.
during my research, I found like companies like Hanes or Hanes underwear, like the 3-pack of men's, 20,000 packs, 20,000 orders last year for those. If your margin's only $5 on that, that's $100,000 a year selling underwear, brand new, that
Mhm.
you don't have to run and look for. It comes right to your house. I mean, don't go trying to get Hanes underwear right now because you're never going to beat that market because the manufacturer's actually selling them. But just items like that, you really don't think about. It's like, you know, thousands and thousands of these are getting sold every year. And what you got for me, Carolyn?
What's been your biggest challenge in your reselling journey so far?
Staying focused. I think staying focused is probably the biggest challenge for me because I do a lot with the groups. I've been doing a lot with the groups for quite a while. And I get sidetracked a lot. Um, I don't mind it because I stick to my schedule, but I do get sidetracked and go in different directions. Like for instance, we all know recently I did the 2-month test on free shipping. Um, that went exactly like I thought it was going to, but I did the test regardless. It sidetracked my whole business for 2 months, you know, because eBay is like, hey, you're doing this, and now you're doing this, and now you're doing this. Oh, we don't understand what you're doing. And, you know, there was issues with it, but, you know, uh, jumping from, I do a lot of thought and a lot of research on everything I do. And that's another thing I think I have issues with is sometimes I just don't pull the trigger when I need to. And most of the time later on, I look back and go, yeah, I was probably glad I didn't. But there's other times I was like, I really should have. That's a good question.
That was my other question, was tell us a little bit about some of the experiments you've run and which one was the most eye-opening to you?
Mm. Well, I've run the free shipping. Um, that was interesting because I learned more than just about free shipping on that experiment. I learned about promoted listings and traffic and the correlation between traffic and page views and sales. Um, it gave me a better insight of what I probably should look at. Um, Other tests that I've ran, obviously we've all done promoted listings at some point in one way or another. Um, you know, one of the things I found out, and I'll just say it out loud, I look at the quality listing report, and the top 10% of my category sell for 7%. The bottom 10% are promoting at 6%. Why do I got to promote at 15% just to get a sale? It makes no sense. Until I started really diving into it, and I realized that all those items I was promoting were getting tons of views or tons of traffic, but no page views because the items had bad titles, bad photos, priced out of, they were overpriced. There was a myriad of issues, and with a lot of it being just bad items that I chose to buy in the first place. So now at least that opened my eyes to that, and I realized it, so I started going back and fixing things, and some of that stuff's moved out now. But it just really made me go, I don't need, if I promote at 2% or 3%, then it's probably not going to help me. 6 or 7, I'm going to be right with the top 10% of the people in my category. Anything more than that, and I'm competing against the people that have the same bad titles that I do, the same bad photos I had, and I'm just throwing money away. At least that's the gist of what my experiment showed me.
Nope, very good. Becky.
I'm here, sorry. Russell, on my call tomorrow, we are going to be talking about scheduling. So I'm curious, you have your regular job, you have your family, like your wife, your grandkid, all those things, and you still do eBay. So, and I think I know that you do more like a block schedule, but I don't really know for sure. Could you elaborate how you are able to fit eBay into your life?
Yeah, for me, it's very simple. My wife works during the day, and for everybody that doesn't know, my wife is the only thing in life that matters to me, period. My kids do, but you know what I mean. My wife comes before everything. It always has, always will be. Um, so she gets home at like 5 o'clock. So for me, 4 o'clock is a hard stop. If I don't have my work done by 4 o'clock, it just doesn't, it's done. Um, and for me to proceed and move forward in life, I have to get my work done. So for me, what it looks like, my day typically looks like, Becky, is my full-time job is an on-call job. So I may only work 4 days or 5 days a month. So I have a lot of free time. But on the flip side of that is if I got a call right now, I'd be leaving in the next 20 minutes, a half hour to go take care of it. That's the drawback to what I do. But because of that, I've had to figure out a way to work eBay into my schedule to where I can be consistent with eBay and still do my full-time job. And what I've been doing is I will source in the afternoon. Like, so today I'll go sourcing this afternoon, and whatever I find, I come home, I throw it in the washing machine and prep it, whatever it is I need to do, and have it ready. And then tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., I'm out of bed by 5:30. By 6, I photograph those items. I list those items. I schedule them out. So they're scheduled out. So whatever I buy today, if I look at my schedule, which I'm not doing at the moment, I'm probably doing Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. The stuff I buy today will go live next week. And,
How much time do you think it takes you to fit eBay into your day?
I can do 10 photographs and listings in 35, 40 minutes. So, and then shipping another 10 minutes, and shipping is a little difficult, a little more time consuming because I got to drive to storage. But for me, shipping is usually print the labels here, drive to storage. It takes me, 5, 7 minutes to pull and pack and put the labels on and then drop them at the post office. So, I mean, by the time this call started today, I'd already done 15 listings and scheduled them out, and my shipping labels are printed. All I gotta do is go to shipping now. That's all I got for the rest of the day. And then source.
Part of that's because you're selling so much similar items, right?
Exactly. Being an everything seller is probably a way longer time frame because you got to research the item and then figure out, what the packing is going to look like, especially like glass. If you're selling glassware, you got to, you can't just put, a 10 by 10 box. because it might fit in a 10 by 10, but then you got to pack it into a 12 by 15, a bigger box, so it's double boxed. And yeah, God love you guys for doing that. Not me. If it don't go in a poly mailer, I'm not interested.
I'm with you. I'm going to wrap up the YouTube portion here. So if you guys want to be able to join us in our conversation, the second half of our calls, go to Reseller Revenue on Facebook, and then all the information you need is right there in the featured post.